such a dork. If I can hear you rolling up and down the sidewalk,
Sorry.
you're a little turd.
I'm sorry.
You're a turd.
Sorry.
Okay, so what we picked up was a 2010 Subaru WReXed. That was what it was advertised as. We went and looked at it and found out, I could tell it was an STI in the pictures. That or somebody had done an STI fender swap on it. I could tell that, but I didn't really know anything else other than that. It was advertised with 53,000 miles. It was a really bad wreck. There's no salvaging this car, but I knew there were some good parts in it. The STIs have a 6-speed transmission that's worth some money. The motor, if it's not busted up, is worth some money. So I went to look at it, and whenever I got there, come here, I'll show you what I found. So whenever we got to the car, we popped the hood, and we see all of this. The heat reflective tape isn't that great, don't look that great, but what that means is somebody's put a lot of money into this. You've got a front mount intercooler, which that in itself isn't a big deal. You've got a air rate intake, you've got a Grim Speed air oil separator, you've got a turbo controller, we've got a Blausch 20XG turbo, I believe. I think it was a 20XG turbo. We've got NVIDIA crossover pipe, or NVIDIA up pipe, down pipe. I think it's a divorced catted down pipe. It had full NVIDIA exhaust, but a lot of that got trashed in the wreck. Everything on here is looking great. I went and had a key made for it yesterday. I didn't get a key when I bought it. So we are now on the way with the totaled WReXed STI back to Tulsa, where we got it from, to get a key made so we can try to start it before we buy a car to put the motor into. Hang on, there's a truck. Hang on. Let me wait. We are, oh, I need to raise the trailer up, obviously. Could you hear that? Hang on just a second. We found 2 possible donors. Oh, always put your seatbelt on when you're driving and YouTubing. We found 2 possible donors. They have clear titles, mechanical damage, and repossession. So more than likely what happened was whoever owned it blew the motor up, couldn't afford to have it fixed, had a loan on it, so they just let the bank come and take it back. That's the kind of car we're looking for, so that we'll have an STI without a rebuilt title. You're gonna have to pay a little bit more for those cars, but when you've got a 400 plus wheel horsepower motor to put in one, I think it's worth it. So go to Tulsa, get a key made, try to start this car before we buy another car to put the motor in it. If it has any problems, I don't think the gas tank's ruptured, so I should be able to start it. If the gas tank's ruptured, that's obviously going to pose a problem. We're going to have to backtrack a little bit, get a external fuel pump, pipe it in, and run it off a gas can. Can still be done, just not going to be as quick.
Turn right onto highway.
If the motor, say the motor's blown, which it shouldn't be because the car was driving when it got in a wreck, or say it's got a really bad bearing knock. Plan B is part this car out. There's a lot of money in parts on this car. The turbo was about $1,800. The flex fuel kit was $600. These are all retail prices. You're not going to get quite retail, but in the Subaru world, you can probably get 60 to 70% of retail on all your used go fast parts. External intercooler. Is this guy turning left or right? Is he trying to turn this way? I think he is. He did not have a turn signal on, so we're going to go.
Continue on East 590 Road for 1.5 miles.
I thought he was trying to turn in my driveway. Anyways, lots of parts. We'll break even on parts. The transmission should be $2,500 for an STI 6-speed. Anyways, we'll see. I'll let you know.
Made me a little nervous, but looking at the parts, I decided for what I was given for the car, even if the motor was bad, I had part it out and get my money back. We went and had a key made in Tulsa yesterday. I can't start the car just yet because I've got to hook the, I don't think it would hurt it, but I've got to hook the intercooler. I got to hook the intercooler pipe back up. Whenever they loaded it on a wrecker, I think they knocked it off. So we're going to get this hooked back up. We're going to try to key it on. I did key it on. I saw the odometer was 53,000 miles, I think. But we're going to try to start it. However, this was a biohazard car. It means there was probably some blood in it from the wreck. I've got to clean it out. There's a lot of glass. We've got to do some cleaning out before we're going to get in this car and start moving around. I found the original build thread from a guy in California in 2000. I want to say the thread was from 2011. He sold the car 7,000 miles, and he had added injectors, fuel rails, turbo controller, the exhaust. I'm trying to think of what else he did. At that point, it did not have the front mount intercooler. It did not have the E85 kit. The last dyno sheet I saw was for 374 all-wheel horsepower on 91 octane. We're hoping with E85 and a good tune, a little bit bigger intercooler, front mount intercooler, we're really hoping that when we drop this in a new car, we're going to get over 400, maybe 420 wheel horsepower. Man, that'll be fun. That should be a low 11 second street car. So stay tuned if you want to find out what this car ends up running. We're going to take it to the track when we get it done. Not this car. I say this car. This power plant in another STI. Click the button, subscribe, click the little bell to get the notifications, and follow this build because this is going to be a good one, guys. We're going to try to turn it around pretty quick. We're not going to drag it out. Anyways, we're going to get to cleaning this thing out so we can see if this thing is going to start, what it sounds like. Well, we'll go from there. So let's get to it. Okay guys, battery's hooked up. I can see the light flashing saying the door's open. Down pipe, or not down pipe, the intercooler pipe's hooked up. I'm gonna throw a towel in the seat. My son was supposed to give me one. So, you gotta be really careful working around any of these cars that metal has ripped or torn or been cut away on. You don't want to raise up and get your head in it. Okay. Well, it runs. We've got STI rotors still look good on the wheels. I think those are 4-piston Brimbos is what it comes with them. I think I'd have to do some more research. 3 of the OZ wheels are still good. That one's garbage. The other ones, I say they're good. They need resurfaced. but it's running. I don't know how long it's set, for how many years. I don't know the state of the tune. I don't know the state of the fuel. We've got a lot more to do and a lot more to go, but hey, this is an awesome project. This is going to be a really fun car. Okay, so we've got the car all cleaned out. You just saw that. We had recorded some video, and my fault, my head was cut off the entire time. So just to recap, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the car, what our plans for it are, and what we hope to accomplish. The guy that built the motor actually saw this on Facebook, reached out to me, and let me know that the guy that was in the wreck is doing great. He's okay. He's fully recovered, and that they had pulled the motor out previously, put forged rods, forged pistons, stock crank, stock bore, and basically had gone through the bottom end. The car had been running for a year after that, so we know the bottom end is good in this car, which is super exciting because anytime somebody builds a car up like this, you know it's going to get beat on. You don't know how many pounds of boost they're running. It's a lot for the motor to take. So 53,000 miles sounds low, but 3,000 miles on a rebuilt motor is a lot lower in this kind of boosted world of running some high cylinder pressures to get your horsepower up there. Okay, so now that you know a little bit about the car, our plans are to buy another STI. I'm looking for an STI right now. I've got a couple possibles. I'm trying to find one without a salvage title. I can always get it a rebuilt title, but at some point we may need to sell this project to fund something even bigger and badder, and some people get hung up on rebuilt titles. I personally don't. If I know the work done was quality and not janky, it doesn't bother me, especially if I can get a better deal on a car that I may not be able to afford any other way. So as much as it don't bother me, it bothers a lot of people. So I'm looking for a non-rebuilt title car. Right now, the car is supposedly making 450-ish wheel horsepower. We're going to drop this into another car. We are going to take it to the track. We're going to see what it runs. Before we take it to the track, we're going to take it to the dyno. We're going to get a proper tune done on it with everything that's going on in this motor. I don't know what the history of the tune is, so it's just a good idea to take it to a tuner. We're going to go to some guys, hopefully in Oklahoma City, that are highly recommended. Misfire Motorsports. If anybody has Subarus that they're looking to have a tune done on, a dyno done on, any parts installed. I haven't personally used them. I'm not endorsed by them. I haven't even met the guys yet, but I've not heard anything but good stuff about them. So we're going to go probably take it to those guys, get it on an all-wheel dyno, get a tune done, find out how many horsepower it has, and then we're going to take it to the track, and then we're going to send it down the quarter mile. Hopefully low 11s. I would be tickled to death to have a high 10-second all-wheel drive car. It would be my poor man's GTR is what I would call it, because it's basically what it is. I mean, for all you purists out there, I know the all-wheel drive system's completely different. It's not twin turbo. It's not even the same brand of car, but it's an all-wheel drive turbo, 6-speed. Sorry, this is an STI. It has a 6-speed in it. So it'll be super fun. I'm going to quit talking, and we're going to get this video finished up. Thanks, guys. Oh my gosh, my son is rolling around on a creeper underneath me right now. So if you can hear that, that's him on a creeper rolling around. My creep being a creeper, or my creep on a creeper.